Good evening, everyone, or should I say, willkommen. Tonight I'm reviewing, or finally getting around, should I say, to reviewing the new Corgi me410, or the Messerschmitt me410-A-1 slash U4 in this case, of work number 429263 of Oberleutnant Friedrich Fritz Stahl from Heidelsham, Germany, in the 6th of March 1944. A very specific day, which unfortunately isn't alluded to in the certificate we got. So this aircraft has been around about 21 months in the making. The tooling was initially announced in January 2024 in the January catalogue, and we've had to wait patiently for over 21 months for this to be released. Very, very anticipated release. Corgi announced that they pretty much sold out of the 1,300 units that they've allocated. They've even had to call some back for their suppliers. So really well received by the collectors thus far. Of course, an aircraft that ties in nicely with the most recent 100th Bomb Group B-17, as you can see on the back of the box art there, and of course in the War in Europe range. So here I am, obviously just about to get this out the box. As you may well be able to tell, the commentary is a little bit out of sync because the commentary didn't record as my microphone was dead, and it records zero audio apparently. So as with all Corgi releases now, they come in the really well-kept clamshell style box, as you can see. Just be careful when removing it because there's usually 4 pinch points aft the wing. Just make sure if you're new to this, just push those pinch points in and get them out. Of course, it comes with the certificate. In this case, mine is 714. Somebody out there will get 410, which is a nice one to have. Of course, it comes with the stand. Those of you who've got Luftwaffe aircraft will notice that the stand peg is very similar to the Heinkel HE111, which is notorious to snap. But don't worry, folks, this is a much lighter aircraft, isn't top heavy or anything like that. It sits really, really nice on its stand, as you'll see later in the video. As always, all the undercarriage is fitted to the aircraft, as you can probably see me allocating there with my hand. And the down undercarriage is within the bag there on the left-hand side. The up undercarriage thing is a real bugbear of mine. I keep pestering Corgi to change their policy on that because if you're a bit heavy-handed like me, you could end up snapping them off. So here she is out of the box. As some of you may notice, I've not put the gear doors on. So the first bit of commentary, if I was to start on the negative, is the undercarriage is really, really poor. It's brittle, it's very light, similar to that of the B-26 Marauder for those who've got it. As you can see there, I'm just saying that I didn't put them in because they just kept falling out. A little bit of blue tack will sort it out, but it's not a great fit. It's an awkward fit, and I'm really disappointed in that aspect of it. That being said, I think the aircraft is lovely. I think the finish is really, really good. You can see me pointing to the stenciling there. There's lots of stenciling on the wings, including walkways, and it looks really, really effective. There's also been a lot of commentary around the mottling finish. So for those who read Diecast diaries that are written by friend of the page and friend of us all, actually, in all fairness, Michael Clegg, he did mention that in order to do it properly, they almost need a bespoke finish, a bit like what Noel did with Caliber Wings, where he sort of finessed all his aircraft himself. But of course, that's too labour intensive. We're talking about skill set in a Chinese factory here. It's not going to be able to be done. So for me, I don't think it's practical. However, for a mass-produced model, it's not too bad, is it? It's not great. I think it's a backward step to some of the Focke-Wulfs in particular and ME110s in the mid-2000s that were produced, but it's acceptable. I think the finish is really nice in terms of the spindles, in terms of the swirl and the spindles. It's finished great. The colouring is really, really good, but those Luftwaffe experts out there will be able to tell me if it's right or wrong. And of course, I love the yellow engine cowling underneath, which is often reminiscent of the ME109's varying from E to G. Really, really menacing looking thing. And of course, let's not forget about the 50mm cannon on the front, which is literally from a Panzer III. It carried 21 shells, so you can imagine the devastation this aircraft would cause in a dogfight scenario with a really tight packed group of B-17s or B-24s during daytime raids over Germany. I don't know the ins and outs of its success rate in the air, but you can imagine if one of those hit the fuselage of a heavy bomber, it would cause significant damage and, dare I say, injury to anybody there around it. I think it's a really, really solid piece of die-cast that Corgi have managed to tool here. Is it worth the wait? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's been really well received. The sales, as I've said, 1,300 units for a modern day aircraft, on the higher side of pricing. I think it was retailing at $84.99. Some of you may be able to correct me on that. I paid 75 quid from Jumblies, but it's a higher price model for a really not much bigger than a single seat fighter, really, to sell 1,300 units. And of course there's also that interest because it's the first in the range, as the AA serial number 29701 illustrates that it's number one in that range of aircraft. I think to sell that amount first out the block is really, really strong. I think it'd be interesting to see what sort of schemes come next. I'd imagine that Cosford's one will be next out the block. So here we are, I've got her out of the box, just showing you the underneath of the aircraft. Not as much stenciling, a couple of bits aft of the wings, or the fuselage, just in between the engines there. And of course that gloriously bright yellow, or Gelb, I think the Germans refer to it as, engine cowling. It really makes the aircraft pop. In terms of other bits, I've left the tail wheel in this instance. A tail wheel fits nice and snug compared to the rest of the undercarriage, actually, which is really, really nice. And overall, there's a couple of obviously little bits of detail there in case of aerials, so don't lay this flat, guys. Lay it flat and you're likely to snap them off. Very similar to the me410, and of course, obviously, it's older brother, more advanced brother compared to that Messerschmitt and the Messerschmitt family. So yeah, really, really nice. I love the undercolor as well. Really, really crisp. Again, it joins nicely with the fuselage, and I think the overall finish is absolutely fantastic. So here we are, got her out on the stand. As you can see, it's not wobbling at all. It's nice and solid. It's not like a Heinkel HE111 that's very, very front heavy and has a tendency to snap forward. It's a great looking model, isn't it? And it looks fierce. Of course, it's the German equivalent of our Mosquito, really. With that big cannon at the front there, a menacing looking aircraft. Because it is there designed to kill. So great looking finish. It's got obviously the swastika on the back, which is banned in Europe, but of course over in our part of the world it's acceptable to have. In terms of the paint finish, really, really strong, nice crisp lines on the wings, and of course that spindle at the front there, that swirl. Imagine that spinning at high RPM heading towards you. It's almost hypnotic in its look. But yeah, well done, Corgi. Really, really good start to the tooling. Would I buy multiple ones of these? I'm not entirely sure. It's not my favourite aircraft. But then saying that, when you get it and get it out of the box, it really does hit home. So, look, thank you for watching. Apologies it's taken me so long to do a video. I've not fallen out of love with the hobby. I'm just running out of time, as it may be. But some of the guys like Heavy Metal Diecast and, of course, the Dutch Diecast Collector are doing great work reviewing aircraft on a regular basis. And if I can get my backside back into gear, I'll happily get back doing some video reviews and maybe a few wings monthlies here and there. But I put them aside now, purely because I don't think we're really getting the sort of hit for it. But it's what you guys want. If you want it, then I'm happy to oblige and do that. So I've got plenty more aircraft to review, including, obviously I've just done the new B17, but I've got a load of other new bits, including the trio of TR9s as well. Please keep subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Take care.